What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? What is going on, y'all? This be your boy Scotty by Nature TV, and we are here for a brand new review of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 10, Episode 4. What is going on, you guys? I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful Monday, and I intend on doing the exact same thing, y'all. What is going on after a long weekend? Having a good time with my friends and all of that other good stuff. I finally got back home. We've been home for like a good maybe 3 hours or so. We've been home for like 3 hours. So I sat here, I watched the show, took my notes and all that. And I was like, yeah, this review gonna be 2 days late, which is not necessarily the way I want to do shit. I don't like being late, but I was out having a good time. So that's why the content was a little bit scarce over the weekend. But y'all did at least get one video from me, and that was on yesterday. But the internet was not that great in the Airbnb, so that's why y'all couldn't get as many videos as I wanted to give you guys. But I was able to give y'all something. But we will resume back on schedule a little bit on tomorrow because I have a yes for the mess that I got playing tomorrow that we gotta talk about a couple of things tomorrow. Okay, it's probably gonna be early in the morning and stuff like that. So not really that early, but maybe like around lunchtime we'll come back and do a live and stuff like that. And then of course Love and Hip Hop is also on tomorrow night. So that's pretty much just it. But y'all know I'm the type of person, even when I'm on vacation, I'm still doing work. Even and as soon as I get home from vacation, I get right back to business, just like I am right now. So y'all already know. Um, let's see. Y'all do know that I start every live off at the 5 minute mark. Y'all do know that. So I just sit here and just talk to y'all. So y'all know I went to the red dress run, y'all. And y'all know that I'm not the type of guy that like to put on dresses and stuff like that. But I did it and I kind of got over it because it was kind of out of my comfort zone. Like I don't really do stuff like that all the time or really at all. But it took me out of my comfort zone and it really wasn't as bad as I was just complaining about it going to, being. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't that bad. I did meet some people while I was there. There was a lot of people that recognized me from, doing the Chase and Pamela and doing my YouTube stuff and all that other stuff. The first night I was in New Orleans, Bondi came over to the Airbnb. We just didn't get to take a picture, but she came over to the Airbnb and we had some great conversation. Her and my friends, we all was having such a great time. So I was so glad that I was able to just hang with Bundy. We tried to hang out at the Red Dress Run, but it just couldn't happen. But however, I was definitely happy that I got to hang out with Bundy. You know what I mean? She came to the Airbnb, she brought daiquiris and stuff. It was great. But Bundy is a vibe either way. I don't care what nobody say about her. Folks can say whatever they want to say about her, but she's a whole vibe in person. So I enjoyed her company Friday night. Um we did a swamp tour. Never again. And we're just enjoying each other's company. Like doing trips like this is like a year-round thing. So, we do that, in memories of our dear friend Danita Rashawn. That's why we do those trips. And the second trip is now done. And now it's time, for us to think about the next one next year. So we'll see how everything goes with that. It's one more thing that I do. It's one more thing that I should bring up right now before we get into the 5 minute mark. We're trying to do a book launch party for me because y'all know my book drops on the 23rd, which I'll be promoting at the end of the video. But my book is coming out on the 23rd, and we're talking about doing a book launch. And I'm thinking about inviting, picking 5 people that watch my videos from the Atlanta area, in the Atlanta metro area, to come to the book lunch and be able to get a book signed by me or something like that. Just shit like that I'm thinking about doing. I'm not really sure, but that's just something on my mind. But Carl is definitely telling me that I need to do a book lunch. And my publisher is also telling me to do the same thing. And on top of that, Carl wants to film it for the web reality show. So I'm just trying to think of things. I know I want it to be very small, very intimate. I don't want a lot of people to be there. But we're gonna see how everything goes and how everything works out. And I know I have a whole lot of supporters in the Atlanta metro area that would probably want to come and you know whatever. You feel what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So I was just throwing it out there, you know. But anyway, we're about to go ahead and get into this review right now, y'all. I know I'm 2 days late, so I'm not really expecting a lot of people to be in here because it's 2 days late, but we're going to go ahead and get into the things right about now, okay? Now, first things first, we're going to pick up where we left off last week with this whole conversation that Kimmy, Letitia, and Marceau and Maurice were having. Marceau is trying to get through to Maurice, and in my opinion, Maurice ain't really trying to hear it. He's not trying to hear it. He really don't care about what Marceau is even saying. And I know that a lot of people don't like Marceau and Tisha and all that, but all that stuff that Marceau is saying to Maurice is definitely facts. I don't even know why he don't want to hear what that man got to say. But at the end of the day, that's just what Maurice do. Maurice don't want to hear shit anybody got to say because he feels like he's the only one with an opinion that's right. And that's not really true. Half the time, Maurice don't even know what the fuck he be talking about. Maurice just like to give a bunch of Martin Luther King speeches and make himself out to be smarter than what the fuck he is. And because he's a lawyer and got a degree and he knows every fucking thing, everybody's supposed to sit there and listen. Marceau ain't doing nothing but saying the same thing that Jaylen is saying. And in my opinion, that means that when Jaylen was saying all that shit to you, you really wasn't listening because you were so focused on your own feelings. And my thing is, you're not listening because you don't want to take any accountability for the way that this man feels about you. That's just what it comes across at. Whenever a person deflects and whenever a person continues to just overlook everything that's being said, that is very true. They want to sit up here and deflect and be like, well, that's not what I was saying. Or it worked or whatever. It's not about whether or not it worked. Like, it's really not. It's not about whether it worked or not. It's about how Jaylen actually feels about the way you did things. And if he didn't like the way that you did things, then he just didn't like the way you did things. And that's just it. That's just it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I don't even get it. Like I said, nothing that Marceau ever said was a lie. Nothing that he did nothing that he was putting out there was a lie. And I was laughing my ass off when Marceau called his ass pathetic because he is. He is pathetic because he don't want to hear the goddamn truth. That's the fucking problem. He don't want to hear the truth and he don't want to own up to shit that he do or shit that he say. And that is the biggest problem. And my issue with Kimmy is that she just sitting there not really saying nothing. And in my eyes, girl, to me, it looks like you've been sitting up here watching Maurice not really watching Maurice treat these boys differently than the other. You've been sitting there and you've been watching it and you ain't really said nothing. But then again, it could be a situation where you've said something, but you said something probably multiple times. And he probably just blew you off and you still sat around. I don't know. I don't know. And like I said before, I relate to this situation. But at the end of the day, it's up to Maurice to really feel what Marceau is saying. I truly and honestly believe that Maurice was the golden child. He's giving golden child tease. If you've ever been in a family where you got multiple siblings and there's this one sibling that always gets treated the best and always get the best this, the best that, they always have all the attention centered around them. It's always about them and it ain't never about nobody else. It's always about them. Everybody caters to their every need, their every feeling. Fuck everybody else and how they feel. They're always accomplishing something and they're always being congratulated or rewarded while the other kids are either the black sheep or there's a black sheep of the family or there's an invisible child. The black sheep is the person that takes the brunt of everything. They're always being dumped on. They're never treated quite the same as everybody else. The invisible child is neither the golden child or the black sheep. The invisible child is just a child that's there and kind of coast on by and nobody even pays attention to what's going on with them. The people that's being paid the most attention is probably the black sheep and the golden child. The golden child because they feel like everything that they do is golden. The black sheep is because they always feel like the black sheep is causing an issue. And you can't tell me that that's not what that is, because that's exactly what that is. So I can definitely see Maurice being a golden child, and I can see Marceau not necessarily being the golden child or being treated in the same manner as Maurice. Like I can definitely see that. I really feel like Maurice was the golden child. What's his name? Mark was probably the black sheep, and Marceau was the invisible one. That's what I'm thinking. But okay. Um, Kimmy says that it's frustrating sometimes with Maurice because he doesn't see past his own way. It's always how he feels, and it's never about what everybody else is feeling and what they're saying. So at this point, it's pretty clear and obvious that this is not a conversation that just happened. This is a conversation that's been ongoing, but there hasn't been any change in the behaviors even after we've had this conversation. So that's what it's given to me. So yeah, absolutely. Um, we're gonna go ahead and get into Ken and Trish. Now, it's Trish's. At first, I had to rewind that shit twice because I really sat there and I thought that girl said this was her 30th birthday. And I was gonna get on this damn live and cuss her ass the fuck out. Cause I know damn well I'm not 6 years older than no goddamn Trish. I know I'm not. But she said that it's her 38th birthday. But even then, that's still wild to me that she only 2 years older than me. That means we went to high school together. Lockjaw, what's going on? But anyway, she taking photos with her and Ken for the birthday party. I mean, for her birthday shoot, and Ken, after they're done taking the pictures, Ken says that he doesn't want year 38. It's his year 38, it's her year 38, and he feels like there should not be any drama in this new year that they're in. It needs to be nothing but peace. It ain't gonna be no peace if certain people don't grow the fuck up. And those people that need to grow the fuck up is Trish and motherfucking Marquez. They need to grow up. They definitely need to grow up because at the end of the day, they're sitting up here being childish. And Ken, you're not being any more mature than they are because you right there with it. You know, you sit up here and you listen to everything Trish says. And if you were actually as smart as you think you are, you would see that Trish is a part of the motherfucking problem. She likes the back and forth. She likes all that shit. She's no different than what the fuck Marquez is. And that's probably why they were together for so long because they're both toxic as hell. And then, Trish has a way of gaslighting certain situations to go in her damn favor. And Ken has this hero complex where he wants to save everybody. But it's giving Project Pat. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Don't save her. I want to be saved. That's what it's giving. That's what it's giving. She don't want to be saved. She likes the drama. She likes the bullshit. And it's like she can't do without the bullshit. She claims that she don't want Marquez in her life no more. But what's going on with this divorce? Why ain't nobody doing what they need to do to make sure that this divorce is actually final? Like, for real. What's really going on with that? I'm trying to understand and figure that part out. That's what I'm trying to figure out. But Trish be on the bull. I'm telling y'all, Trish be on the bullshit. She do. She be on the bullshit. Just like Marquez do and Ken be right there. But I think that Lockjaw likes the fact that she got two men fighting over her. And she probably feels like, I'm that bitch. I got two niggas fighting over me, bitch. I'm that bitch. I'm that bitch. I got two niggas fighting over my lockjaw looking ass. Okay, I got two niggas that's fighting over me. I'm that bitch. My muscles and shit. I'm built for a tough like a nigga, and I got niggas fighting over me. I'm that bitch. Okay, that's what she's giving, and I might be completely wrong, but that's exactly what she's giving. And ain't nobody gonna tell me anything motherfucking different. Okay, no one is. She likes it. She likes it. Ain't nobody gonna tell me she don't. So all this damn talk with that Ken doing, oh, year 38 need to be a better year. We don't need to have the same issues in year 38. Well, tell Trisha to stop playing into the bullshit because she's making herself look just as bad as Marquez. I'm just saying. Just as bad. Just as bad. So, I don't know. It is what it is, child. But we're gonna move on to the next part of this show. So after Maurice and Marceau had that conversation over dinner about the situation with Jaylen, they meet up for drinks, Maurice, Jaylen, and Marceau. Maurice says that he hasn't been involved in Jaylen's project because it's Jaylen's project, and he doesn't really want no input or outside opinions. So Marceau says this is giving the energy like you're upset because you don't have any input. But Maurice says that he is not feeling a way because he doesn't have any input. Lies. Lies. I definitely feel like you feel some kind of way because of the fact that you are not having any input in what Jaylen got going on. And that's the thing. You want to be in control of everything. You want to micromanage everything, except for just allowing this man to really do his own thing. And that be the issue. Some of y'all want y'all hands in the pot a little bit too motherfucking much. And then at the end of the day, y'all can't let these folks grow up and do what they want to do. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like that be the fucking problem here. That be the issue. Y'all can't let these motherfuckers grow up. And I don't know why you can't, but you need to allow that because the bullshit that you're doing is not cool. And he even said it doesn't feel like input. It feels like a dictatorship. So it's like you're not helping me. You're not giving me your input. But what you're doing is you're dictating what I'm doing. You're trying to control what it is that I'm doing, and you want it to be the way that you would want it to be. But this is my shit. So therefore, it's going to be the way that I want it to be. And if you're going to give your input, that's fine. I don't mean I got to really take it if I don't want to. But if that's your input, that's your input. But don't come up in my shit trying to dictate what the fuck I'm doing. And that's just what it is. Like I said, Maurice has that control thing, in my opinion, where he wants to, make suggestions every 10 minutes. And that's not really necessary, nor is it needed. So I'm just going to need for Maurice to really just shut the hell up and just figure out what the fuck he really need to do. Because I just need for you to just shut your damn mouth up, honestly. So where we at? Let me go back to my notes. So then Jaylen said, okay, I already said he feels like a dictatorship. Jaylen and Marceau feels that there's a double standard with Monster. And when they say that it's a double standard with Monster, Maurice immediately gets on the defense and doesn't hear what they're saying. It is damn clear that there's a double standard between Jaylen and between Monster. There's a big double standard. It's a double standard. A big one. You give Monster more TLC than you do Jaylen. And Jaylen feels like he's last. And when it comes down to the household and it comes down to affection, he feels like he's last on the list. And I don't really blame him for feeling like he's last on the list. I don't blame him. And I really feel like he probably is last on the list when it comes to you. And it may not be on purpose, but that's how sometimes it is in blended families where you're dating someone that already got a child. The child's parent may not be there like that for them. So you're the next best thing as a father figure. And they probably are yearning for that same attention that you're giving your own child, but you're not giving it to them. And they feel unworthy of your love and shit because you're only giving it to your biological son. So that really means that what I need is really not necessary and it really don't matter. But you can sit here and try to tell me that, oh, it matters, or you can sit here and tell me I do love you as my son, but you don't, but you really don't. The same love you got for Monster, you don't have that love for me. And I think that we should have those those hard conversations. And as Asia said in the comments, she said, I believe it was Maurice. It was because Maurice didn't want backlash from his ex-wife. He could be doing that because he didn't want any backlash from Kiowa. But I just feel like at the end of the day, if you're married to someone and the child is a part of the deal, then the child should get the same love and respect and energy that you give your child when he's there. Like, don't do the things that my stepdad used to try to do. And I'm not even gonna go into that because you know how the people are. But it's like it's never going to be looked at, and that's going to be carried around for a long time, because as kids we really don't forget shit like that. We really don't. So you might need to really own up to that shit and just take accountability for it. Even if you wasn't meaning for it to be a double standard, it still felt like a double standard to Jaylen. And Jaylen's feelings are the feelings that fucking count. Nobody really gives a fuck about how you feel, Marcel, because it's not about you. It's about Jaylen. It's really about Jaylen. When you really think about it, it's about Jaylen and his feelings and about the way that you've made him feel. But you don't want to be looked at as a bad person, so you don't want to fucking own it. Just own it. A lot of us would have way more respect for your ass if you would just own up to the fact that you was a piss poor fucking stepfather. Of course, it's hard to hear, but that's what the fuck you was. Own it and move on. Thank you. Let me put this up. Let me put this up here. You may forget the words, but you never forget how someone made you feel. And that is the same exact truth. That's how I feel. I might have forgot everything you said, but I never forgot how I felt when you fucking said it. I may not remember nothing you ever said. I may not remember the words. I may not remember the context, but I definitely remember my feelings being hurt after you fucking said it. And that's just the truth of the matter. This is the truth of the matter. But niggas want to be perfect and they want to make it look like they ain't got no damn flaws. And they do. So no. Anyway, moving on. He says that he took a job in Colorado, but he's taking a pay cut so he can go into a place where he can do what he really wants to do. And then Maurice keeps saying that Jaylen has turned out well and he's far ahead than most other kids are. That still doesn't mean that you was the best stepfather. I cannot stand when parents do stuff like that. Stop trying to downplay my experience with you. Stop trying to downplay that shit. You made me feel less than. You made me feel like the black sheep. You made Monster your world. That's that. I don't give a fuck how well I turned out to be. That doesn't change how I felt. But Maurice is a narcissist, in my opinion, because he don't see nobody's feelings but his own. And it's irritating. That's one thing that irritates me the most with people, is that when I'm sitting here telling you how I felt, you want to be defensive. Absolutely not. I don't give a fuck about your defense. I don't give a fuck about your hurt feelings. I don't give a fuck about what you're thinking right now. What I'm telling you is how you made me feel in that moment. So whether you attempted to make me feel that way or not, or whether you meant to or not, bitch, that's how you made me feel. And I want an apology. I want some accountability. I need accountability. If you can't give me that motherfucking accountability, we ain't got nothing to talk about. Seriously. So please get the fuck out of here. I'm sorry, y'all. That shit gets on my nerves. Nell and Trish. So Nell is excited about Trish's party. And Nell asks who's all invited. And Trisha says that she's inviting everybody to the party. But then Neil was like, so are you invited, Mark? Does that include Marquez and Martell? And then that's when Trish was like, Martell and Marquez are not invited to my party. Okay. So then that's when Neil says, well, the party could probably go well if Tisha don't get no liquid courage and try to come for me, because ain't nobody got time for that. So then that's when Neil says that Tisha should have talked about the live with Marceau. I'm trying to understand, why are you so pressed for them to talk about this interview? Why are you so pressed for them to talk about this interview? Tisha said she ain't watch it. Marceau don't give a fuck. So what more do you want? What more do you need for them to talk about when it comes down to this interview? Well, I mean, what more can they say? That the shit was full of lies and we don't give a fuck? Is that the part that you want to hear? Or are you gonna talk about your own shit? Talk about Lexi and how you treated her. Talk about that. You're not that. It's funny how Nell is coming on this show this season trying to be the transparency police, and it's not befitting for her. And I'm really gonna need for her to sit her munchkin looking ass the fuck down with all this damn transparent talk. You want people to open up about their business to you when you ain't opening up about your business to nobody else, but you want to be the transparency police. I'm trying to understand what her plight is and what the fuck she's trying to get at with that. So then, where we at? So then Nell says that she feels like Letitia and Marcel were bothered by the interview. Well, okay, and I would have been bothered by it too. You sitting on here with this woman with 15 stomachs sitting up here doing this cheap ass interview, and then y'all going viral with this cheap ass interview, and this woman is telling all kinds of shit. You feel what I'm saying? Saying all kinds of shit. You think that I wouldn't be bothered? So I really don't know what the hell Nell is looking for, or what her plight is, or what she trying to do. But we gonna see. Moving on to Martell. So Martell meets up with Mama Marlene, baby. I love me some Marlene, child. She is a Southern Alabama woman, if it ain't nothing. Even with the way she talked, the hair that she got on her head, the little Virginia Slim voice, and she even drank a Coca-Cola. I told y'all, most people that smoke cigarettes drink a Coke. I don't know why they drink a Coke, but they do. Most people that smoke cigarettes drink Cokes. I don't, y'all know I love me a Coca-Cola, but I don't drink. I don't smoke. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't know. But anyway, Martell tells Marlene that Ariane will be moving into the rental property. I don't know if it's just me, or did it look like Marlene don't give a damn about Ariane and she don't really care for her like that. And I feel like she's only tolerating Ariane because Martell is still fucking her. Because I don't been more believe they in love than anything. But that's just my personal. I don't know if they in love or not. I don't believe they in love. But if he's saying they in love, then I think Ariane is. But I don't really think Martell is. I think Martell be playing with Ariane. And you know that if you don't know, there are some people out there that cannot stand male, but want to root for Ariane for whatever reason, and that's fine because I don't like now one of their asses. Let's be clear. But I'm sorry, there's some people that can't stand Saints and Sinners too much, and they rooting for Ariane, which is their personal right. But I don't like now one of them. I don't like Saints and Sinners, and I don't like 6:30 a.m. Popsicle. I don't like now one of them. But I do think that Martell be playing with Ariane because I think that I think that 6:30 a.m. Popsicle actually loves Martell for real. I mean, because she was fucking him for 5 years. She had a kid for him and she stuck around all that time. And I think that I truly believe that she really wanted to be with Martell, even with all the shit that she said about him in the blogs and in the media and stuff like that. Like, or she's just desperate. But I just feel like 6:30 a.m. Popsicle can find a man if she really wants to, but she chooses to be stuck around Martell, and it comes across like she really wants to be she wants to be with Martell, but I feel like Martell keeps her around because she's convenient. You know, if he wants a convenient cooch, he can go to Ariane because he knows that Ariane gonna give it to him. But if he finds something that's a little bit better than 6:30 a.m. Popsicle, then he's gonna go right to that person. And that's just the truth of the matter. That's what I think. I think if he finds something that he feels is a little bit better than Ariane, or something that's a little bit higher than her in a sense, he'll drop her like a bad habit and go over there. Because that's what he always does. That's what he always does. And she went through a whole lot of links to go and get him. So it is what it is. But I don't know. But to me, it looks like Marlene really ain't here for 6:30 a.m. Popsicle. I don't think so. That's what it looks like to me. Marlene asks if he's going to marry 6:30 a.m. Popsicle. He says that, he wants to, but he got to make sure that she's the one. You mean to tell me you ain't know that she was the one after all these years? Okay, so then Marlene says that she had to adjust to Martell being with 6:30 a.m. Popsicle. She said that she felt like 6:30 a.m. Popsicle was the reason why her family broke apart. And, you know, she loved the family that was there before. I do think that it's kind of odd that Marlene is saying that, because after a while, you know, there was a while where she was still defending saints and sinners, but then after a while, she was no longer defending saints and sinners, and she was talking shit about saints and sinners too. So, you know, I don't know where the change of heart come from. I guess, you know, you don't know what you got until it's gone. But, you know, I thought she really wasn't fucking with saints and sinners no more. That's what I thought. But, you know, to each his own. Now I was kind of on Marlene's side for a while until she got down to the Marceau thing and started saying every time we turn around somebody messing with Martell. Ain't nobody motherfucking messing with Martell. Martell be bringing a lot of that shit on himself, Marlene. See, this is where you lose me. Your cheese rings and your Old English and your Virginia Slims and your Coca-Cola 12 ounce always fuck up every single time. Why even say some shit like that? Martell is not innocent, and that's the reason why he doesn't have any accountability. He doesn't take any, because you always uphold him in his bullshit. Your Code 45, your Old English, your Virginia Slims, or your Cools always sit up, or your Misties always sit up here and uphold this nigga and what the fuck he do. And he wonder why his life is tough. Your life gonna be tough when you don't take accountability for the shit that you do. I'm just saying, it ain't never gonna be right until you take accountability for the things that you fucking do. And that's just it. She had me going until she said that dumb shit. Moving on. So now we at the 38th birthday party. And Letitia is confused about whose birthday it is because she sees Ken on the pictures with Trisha. I'm like, yeah, Tisha here to start some shit. So Maurice says that he wants to confront Chris about the NDA comment. Lance says that he's not having any more kids. I don't really think I give a damn. Letitia says that Trish is she starts asking Trish about her relationship with Ken, and she says that, well, it feels like, what's going on with you and Ken? And then Trish was like, everything is fine with me and Ken. And then Letitia was like, well, no, because sometimes it seems like you're 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Now, y'all might not like Letitia, but we all been saying that. Look, like Trish really do be coming across like, I'm 1 foot in the grave, I'm 1 foot out of the grave. That's how it comes across. Because in all reality, she really don't want to marry Ken. Ken is the one that wants to get married, but she is not. She too pussy to say that she don't want to get married to that man. She too pussy to say that. I don't even know why she is. Because, girl, you don't want to marry him. You don't want to marry him. And you know you don't. So just say that. You ain't ready to get married. Do you like the idea of being in a relationship with Ken? Absolutely. But do I think you're ready to get married or want to get married? No. You ain't even healed from Marquez yet. You ain't healed from Marquez yet. So it's like, you know, Maurice says that Ken is the bad guy because Trisha and Marquez are still married. And Ken says that Maurice and Marceau are not the guys that he need to take advice from when it comes down to relationships. And I, for one, agree. I cannot take any advice from any man that sits up here and puts his hard dick over the health of his wife. I can't never take nobody serious like that. I can't take no nigga seriously that wants his wife to forever be dependent on him and not on herself, Marceau. So yes, they're not the right ones to take any advice from. So then Nell says that Letitia and Kimmy aren't transparent enough. She says that they won't talk about the interview. And so that's when Letitia was like, so basically we aren't transparent because we're not talking about what you think, what you want us to talk about. And again, I agree with Tisha. The only reason why you saying we're not transparent is because you want us to talk about the shit that you want us to talk about. And I'm not obligated to talk about a motherfucking thing, just like you're not obligated to talk about the shit that's going on in your life. Because like I said, we're all wondering and sitting around waiting and hoping that you talk about what's going on with you and Lexi. But you ain't going to talk about that. But then again, we're on a reality show. So there are things that need to be discussed if you're going to be on a reality show. But my thing is, you can't be trying to demand transparency for from motherfuckers and you not giving it either. That's all I'm fucking saying. Like, if you're not giving transparency, then what the fuck are you? Then how you expect somebody else to follow in your footsteps, girl? Anyway, and then you keep on talking about they won't talk about the interview. What's there to talk about? We all seen it. It was garbage. That's all they're gonna say anyway. Letitia says that Neil isn't transparent about her infidelities because the streets of Huntsville is talking about Chris. I believe it. I believe it. I believe every word. He cheated on her before. I'm sure he probably did it once more because Chris do be lying. So then Trish says that she's an open book, but then that's when Letitia said, now Trish, that is not true. And Trish, you should have just stayed that was a SWV and TLC conversation. So you needed to escape your way out of that fucking conversation because that shit ain't have nothing to fucking do with you. Because you know you're not transparent or open book about shit. Because you can even tell us the real deal, Holyfield, about what really happened between you and Martell. So how the fuck are you an open book when you couldn't even remember half the shit that happened with you and Martell? You were lying about that. So how the fuck you talking about you an open book? Girl, more like a closed one. Because there was nothing open about nothing that went down with that. You're not even open with your man about what you really want out of your relationship. You're not even open an open book with Ken because you know you don't want to get married to him. So how the fuck are you an open book? I mean, I'm just saying. Anyway, Marceau says there need to be boundaries, and he brings up the NDA rumors, and that's when he confronts Chris. So then, Chris says that he didn't say that. So then that's when Kimmy says that she can't speak on what she don't know. Nell brings up the NDA remark, and then that's when Letitia calls out Chris, and she starts wagging her finger up in Chris Fletcher's face, and that's when Nell the leprechaun came up and said, we're not gonna do that. And you know what? As much as the leprechaun is getting on my goddamn nerves, baby, let me tell you, ain't no way you could have came up to my man putting your fingers up in his face. You ain't gonna put your fingers up in my man's face, and you ain't gonna put them in my face. Keep your hands down, okay? Keep your hands down into yourself, okay? Don't shake unless you're ready to get shook, okay? Calm down. There's really no need for you to be putting your fingers in my man's face. So I ain't mad with Nell about that. I ain't mad with her. 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 Because Tisha was doing too much. She was drunk and turned up. Which I can, respect because at least we got her to be active. But what I'm saying is, don't put your hand up in my nigga face now. I went mad with Neil on that part. You feel what I'm saying? I really would. But yeah, y'all. That was the episode. That's all I really got from this episode, y'all. I think that we're going through a reset right now. So I'm giving this show a chance. You feel me? Because I really ain't got nothing to review but this and Love and Hip Hop. So, I'm giving it a chance, y'all. So, before we go, let's talk about this. The biggest thing that I'm excited about. This is my book launch. My book comes out on September the 23rd, and it will be available on Amazon and Kindle Books. And it goes a little something like this. Lights, camera, action. They look like best friends, but behind the designer shades and brunch reservations lie secrets that could ruin everything. From viral scandals to backstabbing besties, the women of That's Why You're Lonely are given full-on reality TV drama, off camera and uncensored. Penned by Scotty Heath of Scotty by Nature TV, one of YouTube's most unfiltered reality TV reviewers. This explosive novel blends 15 years of hot takes and headline-worthy mess into a juicy, jaw-dropping tale. When fame fades and secrets surface, loyalty means nothing and receipts mean everything. Think Love and Hip Hop meets Zayn with a twist of Basketball Wives. These ladies have money, enemies, and unfinished business. And in a city where clout is currency, nobody's safe. Welcome to Atlanta, the real show. With that being said, y'all, this will be your boy Scotty by Nature TV. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, share this video, and also click on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever a video drops. And if you want to follow me on any form of social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, my TikTok will be down below. With that being said, y'all, your boy's up out of here, and I will see you guys tomorrow for my next one.
Cause I know what I want. I guess I could pray to the man up above. Start a new path with unconditional love. I can build a new life out of this mess. Moving on to a place free from the stress. Lost all the love that I found in you, baby. Lost all the love that I found in you, baby. Lost all the love that I found in you, baby. Lost all the love that I found in you, baby. All of my life, and you know it hit the worst when it starts with the night. I'm the type of nigga shit that can speak for itself. See, I'm a bad little nigga with his heart as well. Say it best from the heart, so it beating is felt. Just a sense to see you smile, so more body can melt. With the cause is dealt, nigga, I was just wishing. Can I be the only bad bitch that you hit like? Can I be the only bad bitch you hit like? Can I be the only bad bitch you hit like? Can I be the only bad bitch you hit like? Can I be the only bad bitch you hitting like?